Greetings and welcome to Earground New Voices Amplified, the KOMBI Station. Today we're joined by a legend, living legend, an iconic man in the music industry. Showbiz can never be complete without the mention of Templeman. Elder, greetings and welcome.
Yeah, man, greetings in the glorious name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First. Yeah, man, he's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of himself, ever loving, ever faithful. All Emmanuel King Selassie I Jah Rastafari.
Blessed.
Yeah, man.
It's such an honor to have you, King. I grew up watching you, attending your gigs, and now to just sit next to you, it's humbling.
You know, it's a blessing that we are here right now in living colors, and we give thanks to the Creator, you know, for the life, for the energy, and all the blessings in life. And, you know, we just have to be grateful also and be thankful to what Earground has been doing.
Thank you so much, King.
You know, we've been following and we respect and we wish that you continue.
Blessed. Let me take you back.
Yes, I.
Rough mix, the days of sound system. Where did this journey begin?
Okay, you see, I would say professionally, it was 1994. You know, I just finished my Form 4 in 1994, and I chose music. And by then I was running with the sound called Quiet Zone Mega Bass. Then I was with it till around 1998. Then I joined Syndicate Sound. You know, when I joined Syndicate Sound, I was the man who would carry the bag. Yeah, I would carry the bag until
that was not an easy position.
That was not
Tagura
bag was not easy, you know. So when I met Syndicate, I said to myself, I want to learn. You know, so I was the Tagura bag king. But the Tagura bag in the started. I would look at the music because back then it was original CDs, original singles, you know, singles, nama cassettes. You see, that was a Syndicate. Now, I even give thanks to my brethren because he's still there in the UK right now. His name is Iba Ranks. He's still there. He's the man who gave me the opportunity. So, 1999, Iba Ranks had to leave for UK. And unfortunately, sound the accident. Then he said, okay, Godfather, I'm going. But as my brethren, assist me. What can you do with this? So I went online. My projects, but I got my bass bin, but I got my mid range, because before that we were using a full range kit in a 15-inch and a tweeter. So we had to develop it into my bass bin and separate and my mid range, but there's a crossover, you know. But you see, with this coming out good, I can make a living from this. So when I talk about engineering, sound engineering. But I think I could build even my PA systems. Did
you go to school for this?
No. The judge blessed us from day one. So that was now how Rough Mix Entertainment started. Hip hop. That was the foundation. 2000, but I didn't know with it now that I've got a sound system, you know, locking down the places, supplying sound systems to different nightclubs. Then I said to myself, but why can't I promote a show using my own sound? That's when we started hosting my shows at Aquatic Complex, the Miss Schools, Stungiza, Miss Interact. You know, we started hosting shows in Waterworld, SummerSlam, Beach Party.
Those were iconic.
And for me it was a surprise because I never anticipated they would be that huge. So they brought in so many people. I can tell you that my show at Aquatic Complex would open the gates at 12 in the afternoon, close the gates at 7. By the time we close the gates, there will still be a queue outside.
but what was drawing people then? Because there was no Zim dancing.
Yes.
It was still dancing.
What was happening now is I believed in myself. So the method that I used for marketing, like if you go to Stungiza, you've got Zengeza 1 up to Zengeza 5. There are high schools there. You've got Unit A to NOP, you know. There are high schools there. So in Stungiza alone, maybe there are over 30 high schools. So I would approach every high school, talk to every headmaster, tell them we've got a Miss Schools happening, and for the if your school wins, we are willing to pay for for 5 children, school fees the whole year.
Yeah.
So every school was part of it, and we honored up. You know, we would pay for the youths after the modeling was done.
Yeah.
So a lot of schools would come. So imagine if you have 30 high schools, and for each high school, you have 100 people coming through. You have 3,000 people.
That is a lot.
You understand? And if you have other people coming from outside,
Yeah.
you have more than 5,000 people. So this is what made people come. That was what was drawing people.
And this was your neighbor. This is where you grew up, Mr.
Yes, that's where I grew up. You know, I was born in Chegutu as a youth.
Okay.
That's where I was born.
Yeah.
You know, I only lived in Chegutu for, I think, maybe 2 months as a youth.
Oh, wow.
Then we moved to Chinoi. From Chinoi, I came to Chitown. So to Chitown, I came as a youth. I think I was grade 1. So that's my home. That's the place that I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the people grew me
Wow.
in Chitown to be who I am today.
Yeah.
Because they believed in the vision, they believed in the mission.
What was the vision? What was the mission? What was driving you?
What was driving me is, of course, like every youth, money. You want money.
Yeah.
Money, you want money to be safe, you know. So it becomes what really is, what pushes you.
Yeah.
That I want to make money from music.
From something that you love.
From something that I loved.
Yeah.
And, you know, I loved DJing so much that I believe that I can actually be one of the greatest and the biggest DJ in Zimbabwe. By then, there was no idea of artists, you know, of pairing with artists, of working with artists.
Yeah.
It was just a vision that I wanted to grow Rough Mix Soul House to become a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Because I remember 2001, I moved to Archipelago. I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
You might never believe this. I moved to Archipelago in 2001, January.
Yeah.
And I took my PA system. Remember, we were building PA systems?
Yeah.
Took my PA system to Archipelago, approached the owners, and they said, okay, Godfather, you want to come through? And I said, I want to come through with my own DJs, my own PA system. I do my own marketing, and I get money from the gate. Then they said, okay, this is what we are doing. We'll give you 70% of the gate takings in the afternoon, and we'll give you 30% in the evening. And I said, how many people do you normally host? They said, around 150 to 200. I said, okay, good. Good. I went outside to, you know, had to kneel down to give, you know, thanks to the Most High. Jaja, please guide me. This is what I want to do. This is something new. So I did my first show there on a Friday. By 4 o'clock, we had about 900 people.
Wow.
9:30, police raid. We had their underage people there. We had there so many youths there. We had the place is overcrowded. You know, they had so many reasons. And we couldn't really blame them because they were saying the capacity for the club was maybe 600 or so.
Yeah.
And now there were 900 or, you know.
And this is underground.
Yes. And I think maybe about 200 youths were arrested. But because I made a little bit of money, I then requested from the club, can you pay fine for everyone who's there? You know, and they did that, and the club was closed around 5 o'clock. But the money that was made was too much. It was on a Friday. The next day was Saturday. Same thing, we get to 5 o'clock. Now we've limited the number to 600, but there's a long queue outside. 5 o'clock, there are tear gas in the place. We don't even know who threw the tear gas. 5:30, we lock down the place. It's done. Monday, I go to the head office for my money. And the owners tell me, Godfather, the money that you want, we make this money in 6 months. We can't give it to you.
Wow.
It's just a lot of money. We can't give you the money. You can't tell us this is the money that you made within a week. We can't give you that money. So, well, I made my decision, then I moved to Tropicana.
Wow.
Kogomba. That's how I left Archipelago. Was they thought the money that I...
But how were you marketing? Because I'm thinking there was no internet there. Yes, we used to see posters.
You know, I've always believed in the traditional marketing. Because I've always believed there is what we call mass marketing. And when you're marketing, just let everybody know that there is Tropicana. Then there is targeted marketing, which I would then have to look the place where the youth hang out, the places where the youth used to hang out at Old Fantasyland.
Yeah, that's
East
where
Gate.
we used to, yes.
So we'd go to those places. We'd go to the places where people used to hang out with flyers.
Yeah.
And for my first gig, then I would give complimentary ticket. And for a complimentary ticket, it would then admit 2 people. You see. So I've always believed in the traditional ways of marketing till today.
Yeah.
So joined Tropicana.
Yes.
You know Tropicana.
Then I remember my experience at Tropicana, and this is the first time I saw the likes of Winky D and a whole lot of artists that later on became stars.
Yes, because now when we went to Tropicana, it was a new movement altogether.
Yeah.
Because now we were not waiting to do 3 shows a year. To do 2 shows at Waterworld, 1 show at Rainbow Towers, 1 show at Aquatic Complex. It was now every week. And the deal that I was given at Tropicana was we would run entertainment from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I then dedicated my Thursday to dancehall. To dancehall. You know, legendary, from day one, from the days of Munya Brown,
Yes.
Dennis Wilson. Thursday has always been a reggae night, a dancehall night on radio. So we then said, why don't we do a dancehall night at Tropicana? And I had my good friend host it, T. Yes, from Alcabulani, Browns, Black Warrior, yet to host that night. And it was an amazing night. It was a huge night when it came to reggae and dancehall.
T, Tutu, Malaika, Miss Muffet, your sister.
Yes.
And Templeman.
Yes.
This was an epic lineup.
Yes, and for me,
Washiti, right?
Washisi.
Yes.
And for me, I always say to the youth, one thing that you have to do is to believe in yourself. Because when we went to Tropicana, nobody really knew Templeman. Nobody really knew Tutu Malaika. Tutu and Malaika. Nobody really knew Miss Muffet. But what I believed is I believed in their talent. And all I wanted is, I said, if I get these people on stage and they DJ for the people will love them. And this is what happened. So we had our good run at Tropicana for about 6 years. That's where I met Winky D around 2002.
He was coming for the MC battle.
No. Winky.
How did you
Winky ga. Then as I have a social media. Winky the internet.
Serious? Like from way back?
Zvokuti pepe pane pachimhano kwama-comments vanenge varimozvo vanenge vachiona zvavo havabve painternet. So pavaiuya kuzondiona pepe vaindivigira mangoma vaitoeva kuti Godfatha ndine mangoma andinawo kapacity aya ndipewo something ndobva ndaobva wandipa mangoma. So because vaiwana painternet because inini I've always believed kuti reggae nedancehall yakawandisa. You can never get enough. You can never have all of it. So sometimes when you meet a brethren and says ndine mangoma ndinotora, so mandakatora mangoma ava ndaona kuti amwe nanga ndinawo amwe nanga ndisina. Then we became good friends. Then I said, but King, mukatongoya muchirova session yenyu masikati ega ega na 3 o'clock moya moro aje mo DJ achi session yenyu.
You were still a DJ then?
Vauya vatanga kurova vachiti vakaya vamborova sa DJ vamborova sa MC but vaine set yavo. And it became legendary for 6 years. He ran it for about 6 years again. Tiri ikoko. Now the chemistry that we had musically was just amazing. Because with Winky D, I would say take on a time to dance with Tropicana. Nanati Rasta ndimi MC nas in the tour selector. Kanati Rasta ndini selector ima MC or ndimi MC. Tango chinjana. We did that so many times that it became something chachiri part of us. Every time we go to MC. Tapa got dance to chinjana over the MC. Doing about Noromai. Mango. So the people loved it, so much that we would jelly together. So we had a very good run from those days to the days from the days that we push a movement. It was amazing, but it was an experience.
But did you see the star in him then?
King, not kuti ndenge ndichida kutaura zvangu. In any king maniga. But the blessing and I believe in the anointing kuna judges. Because my ear I can tell you,
This is
going to be a next star.
Yeah.
The first artist I worked with was Rocky.
Oh, wow, Rockford.
Until today is my good friend. Whenever I see one man to that Godfatha, where I identified Rocky Kudara before I even met Winky. It's a blessing in me, and I give thanks for that. The pure album Remon.
Yeah.
At least in the 9 tracks, I can tell you that these 2 tracks are going to be the hits. It's a blessing. So when I met Winky, that's why I said, why don't you become a DJ in the club? After a DJ said, no, King, let's take this to the next level. And the King, no radio was playing us. There was no radio playing us.
The music, why were radios not playing the music? What was the reason?
Zim Dancehall.
Yeah.
There was no term Zim Dancehall back then. It was still Dancehall. But Dancehall is a real. Dancehall!
And when you took the music to radio,
you in the second library.
You got off library.
You're in a library. They know Tianze. Apana, Udzogera foot. And of course, I can't mention names.
Yeah.
DJs would then say, "Can not take with 8 page, Mahal." So sometimes you'd pay. You are played once. Then but it's also a traditional way of doing things, the way that we were taught, by poverty of doing things. We came back to the drawing board, and we said, okay, how do we push this movement? Let's do our traditional shows, number 1. Let's use the club, number 2. Number 3, let's print 20,000 CDs.
Yeah.
And with no money, printer my CDs, distributed the music across Zimbabwe. First step. Second step, the music is there. Let's do a ghetto tour. Let's book 10 venues across Maghetto's essay. Let's do Winky D Reggae by bus. We did that, and it was close to nothing. The charge on the gate, maybe in today's value, would say maybe it was $1 or $1 for 2. Because we just wanted the masses to come through and hear the artist, hear the voice.
And that was developing a culture that later became Zimbabwe.
Yes. Because back then, not only Winky D was doing music, we had the likes of King Labash, we had the likes of Badman, we had the likes of Dada D. We have the likes, before that we had the likes of Yappy Banter. We had the likes of Crucial T. We have we have so many artists. And a lot of artists would be MCs. But when the rhythm would be flown, they would DJ with Daddy Distress doing that, with Trigger doing that. We had, of course, the living legend, Major Ephraim, doing that. So already the culture was there. It was now growing. It was now becoming part of our day-to-day lives.
And how do you feel when somebody then one day stands up and says, I made Zim Dancehall?
King, that is why we then come back and we then come down from the mountains, because we believe we are gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers of the industry. And Zim Dancehall, and I'll say it today. I've said it before. Zim Dancehall belongs to the people. It is the people who made this vibe, because the radio was not there. Promoters were not there back then. You understand? Yes, I'll give thanks to Jaganesa Mama Red Rose. Because Mama Red Rose, I remember, 2001, 2002. Vashto itama shows. Kunana Bindura. You understand? But Van Vaitambila music, it was not influenced by radio, because there was 100% local on radio, but dancehall was not there. So the moment when you hear someone saying, Dininda Katanga Chinich, Kingman, I will then come down and set the record straight on a personal level, because it's very painful. Because youth have sacrificed
a lot
for this vibe, Kingman. What I can only tell you, King, is in this world and in this culture, what we basically do is we play our part. As the ghetto president, I come and I play my part as Godfather. And I play my part as the ghetto president. The next producer comes in, plays his part. We've got so many producers who did my rhythm and speak out. Aka record international artists. He played this part. He made Jamaicans know, because Binnyman is on that rhythm. Mr. Easy is on that rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, you've got artists like producers like Anajipas. They came. Vakagadzira na Chipmunk, vakagadzira ma legendary album, Winky. They worked. You understand?
Yeah.
But they were just playing their part. You understand? So today, if another producer comes in, what he's simply doing is playing
their part.
Their part. Same with promoters. You've got the likes of Chippers.
Yeah.
Big up Mdara Chippers. He has done his sacrifices, so many sacrifices.
Yeah.
Even in COVID, muno king man. Ndogana kukuza secret yekuti pa Mdara adukuti tauro. Mdara ilo in COVID muno. Artist akamfonela kuti Mdara. Ndilipa tight. Anondoti no problem ya office. Ndakukupatela for 4 shows. Uzondipa ma shows amwe. Because he is part of that industry and he's playing his part as Mdara, a big promoter. You understand?
Yeah.
We've got an Clint Robinson.
Clint Robinson, C&A.
Yes, C&A, who did international shows. I was part of those international shows. And he created a platform for our own Zim dancehall artists to shine.
Yeah.
He was playing his part. You understand? So you can't then claim it. Because Chiriko. We've got Sluggy Youth. Agapa started Zim dancehall around 2006.
Yeah.
You know, Ajigazira website track. Every time I talk to him, he says, Godfather, it's because I was pushing dancehall in the UK. Nobody was identifying with it. In Zimbabwe. Everyone I didn't know iwe. That's why in the coupe.
It's quite interesting because you give a very, deep explanation as to foundation of Zim dancehall. And I remember there was a lot of time when people were talking. But the sound system era, this is one era that fascinates me because for me, that's what fed my imagination. I grew up, Mrain, King Alfred, and Oliver. And then going to school, Aukebulani, passing through Glenora, seeing lecturer Amunya doing these things. And this is what developed me through the years to understand, the showbiz and the industry in Zimbabwe. But now, sound system era is gone. What is your memory? What do you remember the most about that era in the sound system?
That was electrifying. That was electrifying. Personally, as a youth, I remember my backyard clashes, which we used to do in Chitungwiza. I remember those very well. And one of the most legendary shows that I attended with Chitungwiza was Jabi Stereo One versus African Exodus, Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric Steele.
Yeah, that's Cedric Steele much. We are in the Cedric vets. And then my looks. So, growing as my youth man, Jim Chuanachi, Murasta, Murungu. I know my looks and Diliga. I just rover my mangoma. So, Angaro Chtungiza foot in Androgobi, Workchtungiza. And yes, and Jabi was legendary.
Yeah.
So, Yangari Clash Yanga Miriro. And you had the likes of Major Ephraim Daddy Distress and with the likes of an Trigger, African Exodus.
Yeah.
Saka, that was legendary, Mdara. Because I remember Mdara, mangoma chufuru Mdara ngoma refu kana miyeti. Populist kachi singu. Zvekuti zvinobva zvaita atmosphere Mdara. That is the school that we went to. Do my clash that I witness. And until today, I always give respect even to King Alfred. New generation. Moroma ibata ngoma we. Moroma ibata ngoma. Moroma ndakaita ma clash akawanda. But Moroma ndakam avoid. Ndakam avoid King Dangote tikazotanda. Aiwa takava avoid because takasangana masound akawanda tiklaje masound akawanda. We were blessed because takwanza kubudirira. Atina kumbovera tanzi takundwa. You understand? We only had one draw. It was against Taliban. Daddy D was the MC. And T was my co-selector. He got a draw. We were privileged to clash on Silverstone, Jackie B, City Sports Center 2003. Amazing. Those were the days. Because what those days then teach us
Yes.
Kingman, we build a lot of confidence on stage.
Yes.
We build so much confidence that we can have a stage, whatever happens, Mshino Kanyarara, it's danger.
It's a danger.
Because
You always make a plan.
Tairiza makassette Kingman.
Yeah.
Zoti waimboburitsa cassette umbetenedza uchipula Kingman. Tairiza DVD player 1. Roti ukariisa so rumbo the loading. Rati loading Kingman 3 minutes. Rova rati era. Uruvana rambo shtaura paipa. So it gave us so much confidence. Ukatesa ku Jamaica, ukandaza ku Zimbabwe. Every artist akabda sound system. Awumumise pa stage.
And do you think that this is a foundation that possibly the new crop of artists could be missing today?
Not possibly.
Yeah.
Kingman, have you seen Winky D on stage?
His magic.
His magic.
Yeah.
He comes from that era. Have you seen Ricky Fire on stage?
True.
He comes from that era. Have you seen Dada D?
Yeah, man.
He comes from that era. So you see, kuti mukazoa kuma artist enyu munomu.
Yeah.
Amunoziva kuti anonochimhanya pa stage. They come from that era. They come from that amazing era. If you go to Jamaica, you see the likes of a General Degree, the likes of Charlie Blake, the likes of Capleton, the likes of Buju Banton. They came from that era. Watch them on stage.
And you mentioned international artists. You've hosted so many shows.
Yes.
I'm international artists. Which one, rings in your memory?
Capleton.
Capleton.
Kingman, I tell you, Capleton, Nesta Ravo is the king of fire, Nesta Ravo, you won't be static. But Kingman, Vakajinini Pisa. Munara humble here, Kingman. When he came to Zim, we had an opportunity to be with him for 2 weeks. Tikatendera Zimbabwe yese because takaronga mapasa na Mama Red Rose. Salute Mama Red Rose for that. Tatene mapasa across all ghettos. Because Mama Red Rose believed kuti amama ghetto itanogona kushaya mari. Yekuya kushoko Capleton. But they have to see Capleton. And when Capleton went on stage, Muswa 31 for Glammy Saria, Akap ended up on stage for 3 hours 45 minutes. Muswa 1 Angari Kwari complex. He was on stage for 3 hours. King, it's almost impossible. So it automatically rings a bell. As in 2 ways. He came back 2 years later, no band, with a DJ. I got it on Gary B. City Sports Center. I don't got a band. That shows automatically rings a bell.
Listen. Fast forward.
Yes.
There's so many chapters that I want to touch on. Fast forward, Magan Voster. We cannot talk about Zim Dancehall without the role of the immortal movement.
Yeah, give thanks.
Listen.
You see, when we're pushing this vibe, when we're playing our part in the vibe, in Zim Dancehall, in the culture that we love so much, we had the blessing in 2012 when a new radio station came through, Star FM. So when Star FM came through, I joined Star FM a week after Yavura. And we're given a slot, 45 minutes. I remember talking to Innocent Chuma, Teach Mataz, and Elder Taderera. Godfatha teaching on the same time. Then I tried to explain the source and Godfather. But we trust you and we believe in you. We will give you 45 minutes on radio.
So the first time was 45 minutes?
It was 45 minutes.
Before it became 3 hours?
Yes, then from 45 minutes it became 1 hour. 15 minutes from 1 hour it became 1 hour 30. From 1 hour 30 it became 3 hours. From 3 hours it became 2 days a week.
2 days a week.
Then it became 3 days a week. Then for our run non-stop from 2012 to 2017, the run was non-stop. We were blessed with and honored with Nema Awards Akawande. We give thanks for that. That ukaona nation ichikwanisa kuona kuti chine chichiri kunakidza ichi move ma on one award. And I remember award that got 2017 as Zero Awards. That was the most listened to and the biggest dancehall show across all radio stations. So it was the Zimbabwe Radio Awards for the Pure Award Yo, and it was recognized, signature minister. It's a blessing, because Asusha Takatarisira. And for Star FM, we salute it because it gave Zimdanso the commercial value.
Yes.
Because it was huge out there, but it wanted that commercial value to then attract corporate world. And I would tell you one thing, Kingman. But for me, 2012 to 2017 in the station, my words it's pure. We were not on the payroll.
Like you were actually doing all that work, there was no money.
There was no money. There was no payroll, there was no pay slip, there were no allowance. Ndaenda kubasa nemotokari yangu. Geraenda nemota yake. Zimungu atashanza moto, tashanza mari yedu, tashanza petru yedu. But it was the love and it was that vision. Yekuti Zimdanso has to take its rightful place. And there is no employment. Zimdanso is creating employment. Zimdanso is keeping the youth away from drugs. Zimdanso is creating that hope for the youth. Mama it was that belief, King. So when you then hear other people watch but guys, why? When you do something, a plot, and you become big and air ground becomes big, it's all right. We give thanks and we celebrate. But there is no reason today saying, I own.
Respect other people.
Other people, or today say, I own this thing.
Yes.
Because andagamanya. No. Mwana, kana Jesa katoka shika kauno garapasi. Ozonzi, sunga chigarapa. You understand? So, there have been so many sacrifices.
And do you think artists appreciate that?
They do appreciate. For me, how I see it, I have never seen an artist who has ever disrespected me or disrespected anyone that I know. Maybe there are things that happen that but my artists, they do appreciate. They do appreciate, but we have to then understand that Murwana King, my artist are so when an artist becomes big, an artist starts to make 1,000, 1,500 a week, so sekoli yake nogona kuchinja. So sekoli yake ikachinja. Ukaona simo mseko yake haikona kugumbuka. It's only that it's growing. It doesn't mean it's disrespecting. That's growth. Anogona tanga kuchanga manager professional. Anogona kuita say anago grow. So for me, I take no offense. I no disrespect from any artist who has come through to me. So
Godfatha Templeman. Now ukwana na mingi.
Aiwa ipapo manje maganvosta akavaita sei akavadzika mugomo because muri kuona Kingman.
Yes.
Kana manzwa pana chitaura pana chinhu chandoda seclash. Kingman ndinoda clash Kingman.
Big time.
Zviri muropa Kingman. And I believe kuti munozoti sema sound man.
Yeah.
We never settle any musical arguments in Zimbabwe. We settle musical arguments on stage. Musically Kingman. Kingman ndakafara paipai. Panakanzwa passion achidaro ndakavara
auchina kubata
andakubatwa ndikati heyo nyama yekugocha this time manje Kingman ndovaita sei ndakunova gocha Kingman I will say it again and again Kingman paipe ndakafara because kwandirika chandaitola paipe ndakati okay fine kana passion mati kwemba wana Godfatha kwemba wana Templeman we misile mfano wenyu 20,000
ndione kuti
we misile prize man apa moya momira pa side mukaona kuomerwa mutaura ndimi mompa ndimi iri kwangu hakuna izi ndogona kutsvaga elder madungwe kuze mumire neni.
So are you saying you'll be ready anytime to have
Kingman? I was born ready
on stage na DJ Fantan.
I was born ready, not na DJ Fantan. With anyone out there. Please do come. We are. But never take it lightly. Yeah. Never take it lightly because when a clash comes, it's the build-up. What created that clash? What made that clash happen? Now, I have to defend my legacy. You understand? That is why I had to go down for that clash. And then not all respect because in the elder Tinash. And I respect elder. I give thanks. Give thanks, elder. Because elder is proactive. We're going to pin the phone. We're going to Godfatha. Boy, Godfatha. Naona chini icho mkuda kuita seka platform nakati mdara manonoka. Manonoka mdara. Ndikutoda mdara. Tozo taura ma aspects emari but chini ndikutoda sei ndikutoda. But you see, isus patkain that cannot tell live yedu. The passion never said anything. Chuspot never said anything. So we respected the ipapo. That means what we said. They have versions and the so we respected them and you left them. But izo kanzga wakutaura.
Yes.
Mugoma tsadzike ku clash. Takuda kukunguruka. Tiri magombiro makudo. Ine ngori hu. Tichakzo tsavura vanhu atidi kunzwa nyaya futi. Mabazga king but. Kure babu ya magombiro kuzotsavura. Wosaka basi inyaya ita sei. Yapera. Maketo ita kada Godfatha wanakupindura nyaya ita sei.
Yapera. Yes, blessed. What are you working on before we end? What are you currently working on now? COVID lockdown.
It was a king man. I give glory. I'm now doing 4 shows on radio. Tuesday morning we have Dancehall Remedy, which is 3 hours from 12 right to 3 a.m.
Yes.
Abanopa no areas kwa vano king man. Tolaiza muntu miza mkrao. Takaiza muntu mkrao tikameresa zvava zvorochinja maganvosi anenge aripo. Tuesday morning. Then Wednesday morning we've got a restricted zone, which is 100% reggae. We've got 1 hour 30 minutes Zim reggae, 1 hour 30 minutes international reggae, because we believed Zim reggae wanted a platform, and the platform is there now. And we Saturday morning we do Gozongo mix, then Saturday evening we do extreme juggling. That's what we're doing on radio. And besides radio, I'm also working with GTTV.
Oh, awesome.
We've got a program where we'll be interviewing visiting my studios.
Bless.
Tonogara pa studio. Totaura na producer ma artist oimba. Because we believe that we need to break into the regional market. And we have to use a lot of tricks and ammunitions to do that. And we believe being part of GDTV, because it's broadcaster regionally, it's a good platform for dancehall. Yeah, that's what we are working on at the moment.
Bless. Matora regional, Matora international. Do you think Zim dance will make it internationally?
Yes, no doubt about it. Kingman, the fact that we haven't made it internationally, it's bad and it's good at the same time. Because what it has done now, I'll give an example of my artist. Problem. I'll give an example of Natty O. Natty O is a good example. The youth has been working.
He's actually gone international.
The youth has been what? Has been working. So now, if he goes international, the good thing about is he's ready. Ane makura chiro apa stage. Akaenda international, akaenda pa stage anawa varura. Murukunzisa. Akanzo yoite collabo. The 2 days akunyala collabo. Anopina studio now. Or create a collabo. Because he is ready. So the good thing about Mukanonoka Kwenda regional liga, the artists are ready, they are crafted, they are ready for the spotlight. It's unlike when you go regionally and we end up go show, or not perform 15 minutes. Because Abunama hits and you are not ready. So we'll definitely get to that. The biggest vehicle for that is videos. Videos, because videos are platform in Africa. So video again about my MTV channel O wakone from Africa. You understand? So we need the proper videos. We'll get there because we're making steps every day. We'll get there, and the moment we do those videos, King Tayenda.
True.
Mon.
Blessings, Elder. I would want to do a part 2. Definitely, I'm coming back for a part 2 because there's just so much to talk about. Skippers, wonder. But one thing that I appreciate is your humility and your consistency in terms of pushing dancehall and Zim dancehall in Zimbabwe, and music in general.
No,
thank you so much, Leon.
We give thanks, Kingman, and again we say we come back to the Creator, we come back to the Almighty. The Almighty is the one who blesses us. The Almighty is the one who takes care of us. The Almighty is the one who then blesses the opportunities that come our way, And to the youths out there, my youth Godfatha Apera, till my last breath, ndakabata tsvimbo ndiri grandfather, then ndichipusha mangoma. Maclash inenge ndichitsavhura vanhu kutepa stage. Only Manuel King Selassie, Rastafari, give glory to the Almighty.
Blessed.